The new moon in Tauro, which happened yesterday on the 16th of May. We are going to talk about that specific event today. And this is not a moon that happened in a normal condition because it happened directly with the fixed star ALGOL. And that is completely changing the game. So I will talk about mondial astrology and also for every one of you in your personal life and how you can improve your life and everything if you are right now connected with the sense that the sky is showing us, and if you want to take advantage of the movements and the energy. So I welcome you all. My name is Carolina Mar, and I'm going to start with the mondial analysis of this new moon in Toro. Remember that the new moon is a moment where we seed something, okay? We are going to see here the new moon, and we have Mercury involved also, and we have the fixed star ALGOL. I will make a point here for you to imagine, okay? ALGOL is in the 26th degree of Toro, and this moon is happening right there, okay, in that exact degree, so it's activating which ALGOL presents to us or represents in astrology, specifically in the traditional astrology. Okay, so we are going to see some point of this moon, okay, that I want to talk about with you. We are not talking about a soft grounding or simply material Taurus moon. We are talking about a lunation falling exactly on the most intense and feared fixed stars in classical astrology. ALGOL. When ALGOL is activated in mundane astrology, history shows moments when something loses its head. It's something that is shut down, you know, it's something that is um, showing us a drastic ending, okay? A system, a structure, a narrative that once looked permanent. So, here the point. The sky is not announcing a future shock from zero. The shock has already started. You are seeing that in everything that is happening right now around the world and the conflict, and something that is not ending clearly. You know, we don't know if this is ending or this is starting, or every day we have different news about it, and we don't know the reality, the trust found, what is happening for real behind the scene. So this chart describes a world that has already entered in a structural fracture mode. Okay, the new moon falls in Tauro together with the Sun and Mercury. Mundane Taurus rules financial markets, natural resources, food, land, banks, reserves, material security, and economic stability. So it's really important because we are in the previous ways of the enters of Chiron in Toro. Then the next month, I think, is July, and we are going to see there the wound that something is going to live there, and that would be the theme for the next years. Okay, and when alcohol touches this sector, pressure becomes extreme. What was artificially sustained begins to crack. In addition, Mercury is there in conjunct with alcohol. And this is information, data, reports, media, economic numbers, and official narratives. That this is something that is breaking down. I think that is kind of the leaders wants to show us, the people, that everything is okay. We are going to find an agreement. We are going to resolve this situation. But I think that something is already cracked down, and they they don't know how to maintain the I don't know the appearance of something. Okay. And this chart suggests that over the next 6 months, information will not simply inform, it will cut something, okay? This is one of the most delicate factors of this cycle, economic or financial data that suddenly changes markets' perceptions. This could involve inflation, banking stress, sovereign debt, energy figures, hidden balance sheets, collapse of expectations. Because markets are still opening under the fantasy of some kind of normalization. Okay, this is Like right now everyone is talking about everything is going back to normal. The prices of the energy is going back to normal. Everything is going to the same place that were before. And I have to say, I don't think that is possible. I will present for you tomorrow the weekly astrological report, and you will see there some information that is talking about already that is nothing is going back to normal, because normality, as you know it, doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so normality is not coming back, not quickly. Okay, Saturn and Neptune, you see those in the chart here. Okay, Saturn and Neptune in Aries in the fourth house. Okay, the house that is related with territory, sovereignty, agriculture, land, underground resources, internal national stability. Because this is something that is going to touch us everywhere. It's no matter where you are in the world right now, you are going to feel it. Okay, and Saturn in Aries shows real territorial restriction. Okay, and Neptune beside it shows confusion, distorted information. This thing that I am saying is like they are saying to us something, the graph, the news, the leaders, but you can see clearly what is happening behind, because something is in the shadow, something is confusing, like this kind of going back forwards with the agreements. They are for real taking this or not. What is really happening? Okay, Donald J. Trump has shown Gene from China, just in the exact conjunction with Mercury and the Sun in Tauro the last week. I give you all the information in the last inform report, astrological report that I present, and I was speaking with you all about this Mercury and the Sun showing together in Tauro for the last minute, because they are all both coming to Gemini right now this week, and they join in that exact day. So someone is giving those leaders some advices, astrologically speaking. Okay, so now this fits perfectly with the current global energy landscape: disrupted routes, uncertain reserves, geopolitical complex pressure, and strategic resources. Contradictory narratives from governments and corporations. Okay, and here is something important I would add from this analysis. Okay, Saturn and Neptune in Aries is not only about resources, it's also about information warfare. Okay, the world is entering a phase where nobody fully knows which numbers are real, which statistics are manipulated, which crises are artificially contained, or how much structural damage already exists behind what they are telling to us. And I think is not specifically the truth. Okay, and this is very Neptunian. The systems try to maintain an illusion of control, while Saturn shows the material limits and restrictions are already hitting concretely, like something that is happening, you are seeing it. Jupiter in Cancer and Venus in Gemini in the seventh house. We see in both here. I will show you here. Okay. This is the end of multilateralism as we knew it. Okay. Now we are going to see new, I think, commercial agreements. Okay. Maybe even something we didn't thought could happen. Okay. So be prepared for that. Countries increasingly are prioritizing security, food, energy, national protection, bilateral agreements. It is not accidental that we are seeing protectionism, tariffs, trade fragmentations, economic rationalization, and geopolitical blocs operating through strategic survival. And this connects directly with Pluto in Aquarius in the second house. You can see that here in this chart. Okay, Pluto in the second house in the fifth degree. So Pluto in the second house is the reconfiguration of the global value system. Not only is money changing, what changing is who controls financial flows, which assets retain value, which economics survives, and which systems are losing legitimacy. Okay? Not only money, remember that. I see enormous tensions here between physical economy, tangible resources, energy, food versus digital finance, debt, speculation, and artificially sustained markets. Okay? One of the most important themes in this chart also is the second wave of inflation, and that is talking about food. Okay, food. Remember that Toro is the resources. Okay, and here comes fertilizers, harvests, agricultural productions, and food logistics. And we are having a big problem with that, specifically the European Union. Okay, and Toro rules exactly those things. What was not properly planted in May will not be harvested in October. Okay, that line is really central. Another critical factor: central banks appear trapped. Okay, because it's not a classic demand problem, it's a structural supply shock. And when inflation comes from energy, food, infrastructure, trade routes, geopolitical conflict, rising interest rates does not resolve the problem. Okay, so I think central banks are going to be in a big shock in the next 6 months specifically. So the system enters an extremely dangerous zone. Persistent inflation, weak growth, high debt, nervous markets, gradual loss of confidence. And this is where I think ALGOL emerge, appearance, the second break. Not the initial shock, the moment when something that seems stable finally collapses. Could be a bank, an economy market, some alliance, some currency, some political narrative also. So we are here expecting which one, or maybe all of those, are going to be in shock. And Mercury, which with ALGOL also show that information will be the trigger of everything. Okay, so this new moon is not talking about crisis only. It's about the end of an entire model of stability in the world as we know it. Okay, we're going to talk about now about this moon, but in your personal life. Okay, how astrology can help you showing the moment, and you can go and see in your chart, okay, in your personal chart where you have Toro, and where you have, well, I think everything is important because we're in a big era of movements, planetary movements, specifically the exterior planets, the biggest, the slowest, and they absolutely are making a change in the world, we know, and our reality also. So maybe you are feeling that in your personal life, things about your job, your career, the way that you are related with someone. This is the moment with Pluto in Aquarius of detachment, and with Mercury and Uranus in Gemini is a breakthrough of our minds, creating new ways, new routes, I think, new spaces for us for creating something specifically. So this information is for you in your personal life. Remember that you can write us if you want to have your personal reading with everything that I am talking about and so much more. So this is not the kind energy where we sit down, write intentions in a journal, light a candle, and wait for the universe magically handle everything, because that is something we generally do with the new moons. The new moon is the time where you are planting something, and maybe we have that kind of rituals with a candle, we write intentions and that kind of things. But here we have to understand that this new moon is happening join ALGOL. So it's a breaking down point. Okay, the new moon begins a cycle of 6 months where everything connected to Toro is in a big test. So take go to your chart and see what is happening. But also, in general, Toro is talking about your money, your time, your body, your work, your self-worth, your ability to build something real in the material world. And the key here is real Toro. Okay, it's an earth sign, something that is real, is concrete. Okay, because this new moon falls directly on ALGOL, one of the most feared fixed star in astrology, not because it represents bad luck or something that I don't want you to be scared about it, but it's because ALGOL cuts things. You know, it's like the death card of tarot, for example. Okay, and it cuts what you no longer fits. Okay, what no longer fits in your life, what you are holding on to out of inertia, the version of yourself that already expired, the excuses, the waiting, the illusion that someday the more perfect moment will arrive. The perfect moment is right now. Okay, and this chart says something very, very clearly. The perfect moment is not coming. The moment is now. Toro is not just money. Toro is everything you consider yours. Your energy, your values, your physical reality, your capacity to produce, and most importantly, what you believe you are worth. Okay? And I think this is where most people lie to themselves, because I see a lot of people, especially in my readings, that are so scared, to charge what they really think they're worth. Like people are afraid of losing stability, are afraid of being like asking permission for doing this, for doing that. And I think maybe sometimes in the story that we told to ourselves, we kind of are lying to ourselves, because that is not what we really think or what we really want. But maybe we need to take that chance and see what happens. Okay. Okay. Are you charging what your work is actually worth, or are you accepting less because raising your price would face you to risk rejection? Maybe not. Maybe you will surprise. Are you building something real with consistent action, or are you building fantasies in your head while your concrete reality stays exactly the same? Don't lie to yourself. Okay, so take a look to the last 5 years of your lives and be honest with yourself. Okay, something really changed or not? Because Toro does not care how you feel about material situation. Toro asks, what are you doing about it right now? Okay, now here comes the most important part. Mars exactly conjunct Chiron in Aries at the 28 degrees. They are also saying goodbye, okay? Because Mars is going to be in Toro in the 18, Monday 18, and Chiron is also getting Toro, I think, in July, okay? He's only presenting papers now because Chiron is going retrograde until December, so he's going officially in Toro in the 2027. Okay, and here we see that Mars is talking about action, courage, initiative, movements without permission. But Chiron is the gund around it, okay? Existing fully as yourself, taking up a space, wanting what you want, acting independently. Maybe you are afraid of all those words. You want to move forward, but something stops you. I think it's something really unconscious, okay? Not necessary fear of failure. Paying attention of this. I think a lot of people are afraid of their own power. Okay, um, this is not something that you say to yourself so clearly, but sometimes it's like Uncle Ben in Spider-Man said that with a great power becomes a great responsibility. And if you take that chance, and you do something, and you have this amazing surprise, and it's not that people reject you, it's the contrary. It's that everyone wants to talk to you about it, or everyone wants your service, or everyone wants to know you, and that absolutely will change the game for you, your everyday life, because you are going to be assuming a new kind of responsibility. So sometimes the fear is the potential that you really have, you know. So the fear, as I'd say, could be something like that. And so we have that inner voice that is saying to us, wait, like, don't risk too much. Okay, but you have to shut that down. Okay, but this Mars with Chiron changes the rule, because this cycle is not about healing first and acting later. Okay, it's about acting with the wound right now. Okay, and in the fifth house, as you can see in the chart, it's talking about your creativity, visibility, self-expression, passion, risk, putting yourself out there, showing your work. So the real question becomes, what are you still hiding because you are afraid it won't be good enough? Who defines that? I mean, if you are good enough or not? Who defines that? Who have the verite and the truth about that? Who is the judge about that? Who is defining that? And how much longer are you going to keep hiding it? Saturn and Neptune in Aries in the fourth house bring another major layer to this story. Saturn asks, paying attention to this question that I'm going to be putting out there in the universe for you. Is this life you have actually the life you choose? That's an amazing question. Okay. Or is it the life you slowly accepted because changing it felt too difficult? Be honest with yourself, okay? And Neptune, besides, dissolves the illusion that rebuilding your life will happen in a perfectly controlled, organizing way. Okay? Like, we are in uncertainty mode right now with Neptune there. So that is normal, but you have to act and go for it anyway. Okay. Something important is confusion cannot keep being your excuse for not moving. Okay. Another thing that is important here is Jupiter and Venus. Jupiter in Cancer, Venus is in Gemini right now. So in the seventh house, okay, show the relationships and the alliances become extremely important. So the people that is around you, okay, the people that you have around you, they are building yourself. They are these people aligned with the things that you say you want, or maybe you have a lot of noise, okay, surrounding you, and that is not productive. So something interesting to ask to yourself. Not superficial connections, okay? The relationship that grow now are the ones with real roots. Who are you building with, okay? Are your relationships aligned with the future you actually want? Or are you staying in certain dynamics because they are familiar for you, okay? The old story you keep telling to yourself about your work, your body, or your routine is breaking right now. Everything is breaking right now. Specifically, everything that you are saying to yourself, and is a lie. Okay. Also, we have the North Node in Pisces in the third house. Remember that the lunar nodes are going to change signs in July, I think also. They are going to Leo and Aquarius, and we are having the eclipses there, okay? So for every one of you who have planets in your fixed signs, paying attention because this is going to be affecting you also, okay? So the North Lunar Node in the third house is the biggest lesson of this cycle because we need to stop waiting for perfection before we speak, we create, or we share. How many times have you delayed publishing something because it was not ready enough? Again, who have the right to say that? Which or who is enough for what? I think. How many times have you postponed launching a project that has actually been ready for months? And this is the cycle that this energy is trying to break in your life, okay? The cage of comfort does not explode all at once. It tightens slowly until one day you cannot move anymore, okay? So Mars and Chiron in Aries, the wound and the action are in the same place. You have to act anyway. Okay. Sun, Moon, Mercury, and ALGOL in Tauro. What you build over the next 6 months must be something real, concrete, and you have to sustain that. Okay. Also, Saturn and Neptune in Aries, the foundation of your life is already rebuilding itself, whether you participate consciously or not. Okay, so a big moment. The final question for you, for me, for every one of us is: are you going to keep ignoring the change, or are you finally going to move? So I let you all of this information, and we see each other in the next video.